Save $200 with the code in the description. Give me some love hearts, give me some thumbs up, give me some lovin'. So welcome to Hot, Cold and Warm Reading Techniques. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, please give me some thumbs up, give me some love hearts, give me some lovin', as the song says. So today I'm going to be talking about hot, cold and warm reading techniques. It is part of hypnosis and NLP training, and it's also a fascinating thing to learn. So hot, cold reading and warm reading techniques is also known as the language of psychics. Now, this section is not designed to teach you to become psychic or to debunk any psychics or to even degrade any psychic abilities. It's designed to give you examples of some other techniques that other people actually use that are part of the hypnosis and NLP community, but are not sort of so much associated with it when they absolutely should be. So a hot reading is where the reader knows information about the client and the client doesn't know that the reader knows. So this technique can be used to create rapport with the person. So maybe they've seen their Facebook page or maybe they already know something about them. This is known as a hot reading. Maybe they've met them in the past or something like that, and the reader already knows some information about the client. So, for example, you might have found out that they like playing golf so that you can approach them with a more common interest. This information could be found out in a background check or in gossip or just overheard information. That's what's known as a hot reading. You can do things like, oh, I actually play this sport, and you know that they're already playing that sport, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I play it as well. And that's what's known as a hot reading. You also have a cold reading. So a cold reading employs high probability guesses to receive quick signals and information, probing the client to give information freely whilst implying the reader somehow already knows. So, for example, there are many therapists that believe this appears to work because of what's known as the Barnum effect. So, for example, you might be saying, I'm sensing you're not feeling like yourself. Now, it doesn't matter what you say to any person in the world in this moment of time, this Barnum effect will kick in. So it doesn't matter. You could say this to any person and they will agree with you. They're like, yeah, I'm not feeling myself, because most people don't even know what themselves are. They don't even know what it is that they want from day-to-day life. And those that do know are probably stressed out or maybe a bit rushed or something like that, so they're not in that relaxed state. And so it doesn't matter what you say. This is known as the Barnum effect, and they will agree with you. So this is known as a cold reading, so that you can get a quick signal. So you can say, I'm sensing you're not feeling like yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling like myself right now. I'm a little bit tired or a little bit hungry or a little bit emotional or something like that. So please look up the Barnum effect. It's absolutely amazing, and it's a really, really good read. And a warm reading This is sometimes referred to as Barnum statements. Now, Barnum statements is a principle that's applied to nearly everyone, okay? So, for example, a female grieving client will usually wear or have a piece of jewelry of the deceased, an item of some sort. So you can make a statement like, there's a piece of jewelry or something of relevance to the deceased person. And this allows the client to make the connection and then claim that there's a message into it. That's what we call a warm reading, and that's where they're not necessarily known as hits, but the client will create the link and then express to you, absolutely, I have my mother's bowl at home at the moment. And of course they do. The person has just passed away and they've just received this stuff, or they've just started to go through those old memories and things like that. And they're like, oh yes, I just got out my mum's ring. I've had it for like 20 years. So this is what's known as a Barnum statement, and it usually applies to most people. Now, I'm going to touch basically on the 12 steps of a cold reading. This can assist you in creating a better connection with your clients. So these are the 12 steps of the cold reading. So number 1, use your environment to set up a mood and a feel for your session. So it doesn't matter what it is that you're looking for. If you're looking for your client to relax more, then have it in a more relaxing environment with ambient lighting and things like that. If you want the client to feel more spiritual, then make sure you have your velvet tablecloths and things like that. If you want them to be more analytical and structured, have that very clinical, clean, straight environment. Construct the environment to set up the mood so that the client will step into the structure of reality and that feeling for your session. Step number 2 is be modest about your statements. Don't make crazy claims, okay? So when you're making a statement, you're simply saying, I sense that you're feeling unwell and that you can help with this. Don't make crazy claims like, you have cancer. That can be a horrible thing for a client to learn, especially if they're coming into your environment and then all of a sudden they're like, well, no, I don't, but maybe I do. You're going to set them up for a belief system that is part of crazy claims, and just be modest about your statements. The client will make the connection from there. Step number 3 is tell them success is dependent on how much they input. Success is not determined by what's around them. Success is determined by what's inside them, how they take what's around them and make that internal dialect so that they can then put themselves into action. Be confident with your information as well. There's absolutely no point in saying, I completely understand what you're saying. That's a counterintuitive thing. You either understand what they're saying or you don't. So if you're understanding what they're saying, then be confident about it. Yes, I completely understand. If you don't understand what they're saying, then just simply express to them, could you please explain that more to me? Be confident in your information. Step number 5 is to conceal questions as statements. So for example, I feel sad, I wonder why. These are questions within statements. They're not necessarily questions that need answers. They're known as a statement. And this is where, when you're doing a cold reading on someone, the client will begin to make the connection. Step number 6 is let the client do most of the talking. Just shut up. Just let them do the talking. So when you're doing a cold reading with your client with an NLP technique, it doesn't matter whether you're doing tarot readings, a healing session, a musical bowl session, astrology, whatever it is, let the client do most of the talking and allow them to express themselves. Now, they may not actually be talking audio words out of their mouth. Maybe they're just talking with their body, with their eyes. The eye technique module is in here, so look at that and make sure you study it and you nail it. Maybe they're talking with an idiometer response where they twitch when certain words are expressed. So listen to your client. Session number 7 is to pay attention to your client's mannerism as well. Are they coming across as a little bit standoffish or arrogant or completely indulged? Make sure that you mirror the mannerism and then you pace lead them into a better mannerism or into a more open state. 8 is to pay attention to your client's clothing as well. You can pick up a lot of information from your client based on the way that they dress. So is their lifestyle not the way that they want it to be? Perhaps they're not at the standard of living that they want to be, or maybe they're struggling financially. Perhaps they're wearing a lot of colours and stuff like that because they want to be more spiritual, but they're just not getting it. They've got lots of beads on and things like that. Pay attention to your client's clothing when doing a cold reading so you can pick up more information. Number 9 is to is to speak in general statements. So example, as a child there were times of anger and like no one understood you. Guess what? That's a general statement. Everybody had that as a child. So talk in general statements, and this will probe the client to start talking about something specific. This is really great when you're learning advanced hypnosis techniques like gestalting, so that way you can actually help them heal that past. What's going to trigger them, so that way you can help heal them. Step number 10 is to let the client guide the subject. If they want to talk about something else, then allow them to do that and then guide them back to the cause. Step number 10 is to offer empathy and reassurance that it's okay for them to completely express themselves within this session, that it's completely okay for them to talk about forbidden subjects and things like that, and offer empathy towards them. No judgment, let them get it out of their system. And step number 12 to the cold reading is to apply a solution. Ask the client, are they willing to apply themselves to a simple 7-day task so that they can start working towards a solution and breaking down the conscious habit that they have involved. 12 simple steps. Now, if you need these 12 simple steps, they are available in the manual. Simply click on the description below so that you can become certified and you can purchase that. So this is the language of psychics, and it is absolutely fascinating. I can delve more into this with the Barnum effect and the Barnum statements, but I don't want to offend anyone or anything like that, because there are people with genuine abilities out there, but unfortunately there are also a lot of hacks in that industry, and that's what makes it so flim-flammy might be the words for it. So I honestly believe that there are people with these abilities, and the language of psychics is absolutely fascinating. So feel free to look that up and do some more education about it. So it's great for stage shows. It's great for learning to be a psychic more, and it's great to tap into your abilities. So for example, if you want to do hot, cold or warm readings, read about the Barnum effects and the Barnum methods, then please, by all means, absolutely do that. I must agree with Darren Brown when it comes to these types of languages. If you're studying it for psychic purposes to give people hope and healing, then you're doing this for the absolute right reason. But if you're studying it, just basically to make money, then that's not the right reason to be doing this. Doesn't matter whether you're doing hypnosis or NLP or spiritual development or anything like that. If you're doing this because you want to be rich or something like that, then you're doing this for the wrong reasons. You really need to be studying this in order to help heal people and to help people grow into a better place. Help this world be a better place. And at the end of the day, the abundance will come. It will come. So many people have natural psychic and mediumship abilities because we're all energy, and many unfortunately don't. So using this technique on stage is very effective and very convincing for audiences, and confidence is the only key. And if you don't have confidence, then just fake confidently being confident. Simple as that. So please join me in the next video. I'm going to be talking about eye fixation and eye techniques. I will be talking to you soon. Please go into the Barnum effects and the Barnum methods and read all about it. It is fascinating and it's a wonderful language to learn. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.